Hello, everyone, and welcome to Glyphs. Thank you to all our viewers who have joined us on Zoom and on Facebook. It's an absolute pleasure to have all of you with us. We shall be starting in just a short while, and until then, enjoy this beautiful performance, Chanda Re, on the Santur by our artist Ninad Daithankar. It's lovely to see all our audience who have joined in. To the audience, please put in your names in the chat box. We would love to also know your passion or that one hobby or that one thing that all of you love to do from your heart. So please put in your name and something that is really close to your heart. We would love to connect with that passion of yours. Hello and good evening to all our viewers from Pune, Nashik, guests, the world of studying our culture and traditions, and the world of poetry. Stay tuned as we have a lovely interaction with our guests. To the audience, we shall be recording this episode for quality purposes. Glyphs essentially means the representation of a character. And what better way there is to identify what a person truly is than to observe what he loves from within him. That's why the name glyphs. It also stands for being a symbol that represents something beyond the face value. The three symbols or the three glyphs that you saw in the logo represent what the concept is all about. They stand for Create, Connect, Express, or CCE. Like we all know, hashtag Passion Matters. Glyphs is a channel where you indulge in to identify the passion created within you, connect with each other, and openly and ingenuously express your thoughts and passions. The purpose of this channel is to create a community of like minded people who share a common drive for passion. Passion is the force that motivates you to achieve success and happiness to build a better life. It is something that allows you to be inherently yourself. Your passion can be singing, photography, painting, playing an instrument, or even something as different as collecting items, cycling, or even sports. This might be something that you are not necessarily doing as your passion. In fact, it is better if you have a passion that helps you unwind and enjoy your own company. The Glyphs community is meant to encourage us to keep pursuing our passions. It is a global community who sees, learns, and appreciates the things that we do. It is also an avenue where you can showcase your own passion and also be inspired to explore a new passion. You know you got it. We know you got it. Now let the world know you got it. And that's exactly what we are here to do: create, connect, express. To the audience, the Glyphs CCE show has celebrated a milestone of completing over 60 episodes, and we are truly overwhelmed with the response from all the well wishers from India and more than 44 countries. This platform has brought together people from different places, different cultures, all bound together by passion. We are now building a larger team with a better infrastructure to keep showcasing, pursuing, and inspiring more passions all across the world. So, friends, if you do like these episodes, the experience, and the concept, we are now open to have your financial support to build a stronger platform than ever before. Your financial support, however big or small, is extremely valuable to us. You can see on the screen a Google Pay number as well as a QR code for any contribution that you would like to make to take this concept forward. And so, again, a very warm welcome to all of you on this lovely Sunday evening. I am your host, Kavita Avasti, and it is an absolute pleasure to welcome all of you to the 64th episode of this wonderful channel where we showcase your passion. To the audience, while we talk to our guests, do keep the chat box alive with your comments and appreciation. And to the viewers on Facebook, we are listening to you too. So please feel free to put your comments on our Facebook page, which is live right now. So, time to talk to our first guest. The diversity of the Indian culture is reflected in different languages, traditions, customs, and festivals. And today, we have a guest whose passion is studying this vast ocean of the Indian festivals and culture, Dr. Pradnya Suhas Kulkarni. At the very young age of 14, Pradnya gave a performance at Walchand Nagar on Shiv Jayanti, that too in front of a crowd of over 5,000 people. And that's where her passion started. Studying Sanskrit texts and sharing the facts and thoughts about our culture and tradition with common people is what makes Pradnya happy. A happiness that she has been nurturing for over 35 years. Her parents were responsible teachers, are her inspiration for nurturing this passion. Connecting and communicating with people of different ethnicities and understanding their cultures is what has fueled this passion. Pradnya also loves classical dance and has learned Kathak. So, Pradnya, like I said, India is a country of vast cultures. And we also know that each person kind of has their own perception on all these cultures, all these traditions. But since this is your passion, we would like to know, how do you look at this religion, this culture, this tradition which has been coming down for so many generations? Yes, Pradnya.
Okay, before I start, at the outset, I would like to thank you, Kavita, for those kind words and the introduction. And thank you, Glyphs, for giving me this opportunity and this platform to connect with many people at a time. Okay, talking about my views on culture and tradition, you mentioned that I gave a performance when I was 14. Before that,
Yes.
I already had started giving performance of Kirtana, and I had so many questions about these things in my mind. I asked those questions, but I couldn't get satisfactory answers. Then I started reading the books on my own, and with the guidance of my teachers and my parents, I started studying these texts. And I realized that religion and science, both these things existed at the same time when man existed. But with the case of science, we can see the progression. Whenever the new things are coming in, the old things they are going back to the back end. But with the religion, we people are so very sensitive, and that is such a sensitive area that we are not ready to accept the changes. So I realized that, and then I started thinking. I started reading many things, and just to tell you in nutshell, I would like to take one example. Share one story with you, which is one of my favorite stories. And without speaking a single word, the story explains everything. What we do about religion, religious things, and culture is exactly reflected in that story. The story goes like this. Once it happened that the mother-in-law in the family, who's chief of the family, and her assistant, the newcomer, the daughter-in-law, both of them, they were cooking the food, cooking the meals for the shraddha in the house. Okay, and both of them were going like taking efforts for the preparations, and it's a very typical type of food which is prepared that day, and which contains kheer. So while the kheer was boiling, and the smell of the milk, it was like spreading over the whole house. And one cat, one small kitten, it was coming in between, and she was bothering. The kitten was bothering both of them, and the mother-in-law, she devised a trick to lock that kitten. She took a cane basket, and the cat was covered under the cane basket. So she locked the cat there. After that ceremony was over, many days passed on, and after that, when the mother-in-law she passed away,
Mhm.
her Shraddha ceremony was to be performed, and the daughter-in-law, by the time, she took hold of the whole family, and she was the one who was leading the whole thing. And she was listing out the things she needed for preparation of the food and everything. And in the list, she wrote that I need a cane basket and a kitten.
Oops.
Obviously, her husband asked, "What is this? Why do you need this to prepare food?" And she answered, "We have that custom in our family that cat is to be covered, cat is to be locked under a cane basket while preparing this Shraddha meals." So, this small story, I think, Kavita, is enough to explain what we do with these customs and traditions. Many a times, traditions are the things which are to be followed, which are to be continued. And we have a very nice Marathi word called Rudhi. Rudhi means the situational things which are done at that time, but they need not be followed by the next generation. But we hardly differentiate, demarcate in these two things. And I started thinking on that. I started gathering information. And one very small point I would like to share, and that is our scriptures, our texts, they have kept a facility to accept the change in the religion by saying that there are four yugas. And in these
Hmm.
four yugas, the concept of religion has to be changed. It will change, and wisdom is to accept that change. And this concept is called Yuga Dharma. So, according to the yugas, the concept of religion it is going to change, and uh, it's better that we accept that whatever people used to do in Kruta Yuga or in Treta Yuga or in Dwapara Yuga or in the earlier yugas, it is not possible for you and me. So we need to devise our own methods based on our faiths and our ways and our constraints we have got from this new lifestyle.
Absolutely, Pradnya. That is so beautifully explained. When she explained that story, sometimes we all just tend to follow traditions, follow some things without really knowing what is the story. And like you said, we need to change. That's why it said change is the only constant, of course, Pradnya. So, like, you've just explained, a lot of people feel that festivals or cultures, so to say, are more of a tradition that just have to be followed. They don't even know the meaning, they don't know the importance, they don't even enjoy it as much as they should because they get stuck in those four walls, so to say. So, do you think, Pradnya, that all the festivals that we have been following for so many generations are they even relevant today in our today's times?
Uh, yes, many of the festivals they are relevant, and I think, according to me, they are to be celebrated.
Hmm.
Because see, if you think of any festival, there are two parts of the festival. One is the core part of the festival, why it is celebrated, and the other is, as I told you, the rudis which are attached to that festival. So I
Yes.
think, being the people of new generation, we should develop ourselves selves in such a way that we could segregate between the rudhis and the core part of the festival. Because
Correct.
what is at the base of the festival celebrations is sharing happiness, then having stress free life, stress free time for ourselves, and enjoying the company of our relatives, friends. And again, the base for all this is always some religious activities. So these are the occasions which are bringing us together. So in many families, you would admit that people only come together at the time of festival, or whenever they
Hmm.
come together, they enjoy a lot. So festivals are providing us the occasions to nourish, and enrich different relationships. So festivals, I think they are to be enjoyed by considering the core part of it and just dropping out the unnecessary things which we can't do.
Very interesting, Pradnya. The Rudhi and the core. I think a lot of people are unaware of this facet of religions and festivals. Also, to the audience now, when all the things that Pradnya has spoken about, there are so many things that we don't know. It's also time to test your knowledge on some of the very different and relatively unknown traditions and festivals of India. So, to the audience, it's time for something which we call the Glyphs Quiz. I shall be asking you some questions related to some relatively unknown traditions and festivals of India, and we would want the audience to put their answers in the chat box. Coming up, the first one, a very interesting and I think a relatively unknown one. So there is this rather very easygoing confrontation between the men of a village called Nandgaon, which was supposed to be Krishna's village, and the women of Barsana, which was supposed to be Radha's village. This is near Vrindavan. So, as the legend goes, it has it that during the days preceding Holi, Krishna used to visit his beloved Radha and used to end up teasing her friends. So the women of Barsana reacted to this by chasing down Krishna with sticks. And since then, the men and women of these villages recreate this famous event every year, where, now pay attention, the women beat up the men with long sticks. What is this festival called? My question to you is the festival where the women near Vrindavan beat up the men with long sticks. What is this festival called? Like I said, I gave you a hint. It is celebrated in two villages next to Vrindavan. Yes, Amol, wow, that was instant. It is called the Lat Mar Holi. The Lat because the sticks are called lathis, and that is why the name. This is celebrated about 4 to 5 days before Holi in Vrindavan, Nandgaon, and Barsana. Well, I'm sure the women are pretty delighted to know about this festival. So, men, just beware. All right. Coming up next, okay, a festival which is more of a race. This race is not just a sport, it's a fiercely fought battle which has existed for over 400 years. So, this was once upon a time used while fighting wars in water. And now it is celebrated as a carnival, and the amount of energy and intensity by this festival is what makes it so popular. So, I'm going to give you a hint here. This is organized in the backwaters of Kerala. What is this event called? It's become more of a tradition now, this event. Yes, it is a boat race. What is the name of that boat race? Amol, you're very close. Amrita, it is a kayak, yes, but I want to know what is that boat race called? Yes, that is right, Amol, you're right again. It is the snake boat race. It is called snake boats because of this distinct canoe shape. The shape looks like a snake, which is why they're called snake boat races. And the format, the extreme competitive spirit that goes into it, and the insane popularity of the snake boat race, these are all traits that make it one of the most unusual festivals in India. And moving on to the third one, this is a festival which is very close to a lot of hearts. It is celebrated in the Uttarayan phase, and it marks the end of the harvesting season. It's one of the biggest festivals in India where the sky is filled with colors. I'm not talking about Holi, but it's a phase, it's a festival where the sky is filled with colors. In fact, tourists from different parts of the globe also visit this festival, and it also includes some major competitions during this. Which festival am I talking about? All right, the hint, of course, Makar Sankranti. Yes, it is celebrated in Gujarat. Yes, Amol, yes, Pushkar and Milind, yes, it is Sankrant. It's the kite flying festival, which is celebrated to a very huge extent in Gujarat, mainly Ahmedabad, of course, where everyone celebrates this festival by flying colorful kites, and the whole sky kind of exhibits a variety of colors and designs. Not to forget the delicious varieties of food like undiyu and jalebis, of course, that the Gujaratis are famous for. All right, yes. So, Pradna, you've been talking of globalization of festivals. A lot
Yes.
of things that have been a lot of innovations over time. So, how can you tell us what are the kind of innovations that you see? What are the innovative ways of celebrating festivals in this changing era, so to say?
See, basically, what I see is with globalization, now we all have opened the doors of possibilities, and now we all are open for the festivals which are celebrated by the other people of other ethnicities. So this is such a wonderful thing that we also enjoy the festivals of other religions, and that is a wonderful thing which makes us truly global citizens. While I was interviewing some people for my column on global citizens, I came across a person who was a person from Israel, and he visited sometimes. He came to India. He visited some places, and he liked to stay on the banks of Ganges. He enjoyed a lot there, and he said, "My, I want my parents to come here and see this whole thing, Ganga Aarti and everything." He was very much impressed, and he invited his parents for celebrating Christmas. So he said that was the best Christmas I ever had, which I celebrated on the banks of Ganges. So I was really impressed to have this, to know about this celebration. And I think many people nowadays are doing the same thing, because we all have understood the meaning of celebration. Celebration is being stress free, celebration is doing something different from the routine lives. And I think each and every religion teaches all good things to the followers. And I think celebrating the festivals of other ethnicities is such a wonderful thing, which is making us very open and global.
So true, Pradnya. Absolutely well said. There's always a chance to innovate, always a chance to celebrate a typical festival in a very innovative way. Thank you, Pradnya, for that. And coming to the last point, when you want people to follow something, they say that most of the times, if you just relate it to God, people just blindly follow it. It's just easier for them to follow.
Yes.
This is also the case of a very, very controversial topic in India,
Hmm.
which is fasting.
Yes.
So, what options do you suggest for concepts like fasting?
Yeah, I have devised number of things, and see, nowadays, Kavita, we all want designer things. We want customized clothes for us. We want everything designed, customized for us. So I just gave the germ, and I think every person can devise his own methods of fasting, knowing the core part of why fast is there. So the very basic thing about, according to our old text, ancient Indian text about fast is to be done at three levels. One is the fasting at the body level. So that is what we intend to do, but we end up eating more stuff than our usual food, our usual meals. So one is the fast at the body level, fast at the mind level. So many a times, unwanted, unnecessary thoughts, they occupy our mind and they control everything, they affect our body. So fasting from these things, that also helps us to, because we always say sound mind and a sound body, both the things they get along very well, they go together. If both the things are healthy, that helps a person to develop his own abilities. So fasting at mind level, and third is fasting at intellectual level. So if we come across any bad thoughts, it certainly affects our mind and our body. So keeping the mind away from bad things also could be the fasting at the intellectual level. So our scriptures, they tell us to fast at these three levels. Nowadays, the concept of digital detox is becoming very much popular, because see, we all know that watching the screen of a computer, or watching the screen of our tab or our smartphone is not a very good thing for our eyes and our intellect, but still we keep on doing that because we all are addicted to that, and we think that my work is related to these things, so I have to do it. So we just make excuses. Instead of that, what we can do is intentionally we can keep some hours when we won't see any screen. See, fasting is not doing certain things and doing something certain things intentionally. Okay, eating some food stuff and avoiding certain food stuff intentionally. So
Yeah.
we all can devise our own methods. So in one article, I gave some 16 to 17 options of fasting. I'll just talk about some of them so that you
Okay.
all can devise your own methods and everyone can have the designer fasts. One was the fast of mobile, obviously, fast of screen. Then, especially for ladies, I said fast of jewelry and ornaments, because many a times it happens that we are used to these things and we are addicted to using these things so much that our persona gets covered with these things. So one day you can try not using any jewelry, and then you will realize in the end that nothing different happens, because you are way superior and way better than what you wear or how you present yourself. Similarly, we can have the fast of looking into the mirror. Those who are uh, at the initial stage of narcissism, they can try this out. Certainly, people below 20, they won't dare, they won't listen to me, I know, but we all can try and check what is the effect of this. Another is, we all know that backbitching is not a good thing, but still, at times, gossiping and these things, they naturally happen. So you can decide a day and intentionally avoid doing that, or having argument with somebody that can be avoided. And in doing good things, we all know that reading enriches our life experiences and gives us a new way to look at the life. So intentionally we can start reading or dedicate a day in a week where intentionally I would read 50 pages or something like that. Avoiding cold drinks and tea, coffee. This also can be done for as a way of fasting. So every person looking at his lifestyle, his constraints, and his physical constraints and abilities, he or she can design his own fasting ways, because we all are smart enough and educated enough to understand what is good and what is bad. So we don't need anyone to tell us what is to be done and what is not to be done. The only thing is, if we take it as a vow and we consider it as a vrata, what we call, then certainly we'll be able to do this. I think
Yes, yes.
we can make an appeal to the viewers that if they have any such different type of fasting in their mind, or something comes up in their mind, they can share with us so that we all will get to know different ways and different avenues to fast.
That's such an absolutely delightful thought. Fasting for us always means food and most of the times sabudana khichdi. But this kind of innovative way of thinking and these different thoughts, Pradnya, truly amazing. So, to the audience, like Pradnya said, if there is anything that you would add to it, do reach out to her, do share it with her, and she will take care of that. Thank you. Thank you very much for that lovely information, Pradnya. A very, very
You
different way of looking at something which has come down for generations together.
can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Audience, do not go anywhere. Pradnya is going to be back with an awesome finale for all of you that we've planned just after we see the performance of our second guest. And before that, over to Apurva, who's going to share how each one of you can also become a part of our ever growing channel Glyphs. So, Apurva, over to you.
Thank you, Kavita. To all my passionate friends present here today, we've just heard Pradnya talk about her passion. In the same manner, all of us also have different passions that we love to do. It could be singing, dancing, photography, traveling, painting, and so many more. My passion is dancing, and I've been on the Glyphs channel on its launch episode. Glyphs CCE is a channel that provides you a platform to take your passion across the globe. We currently have our viewership in over 44 countries across the globe. Now, Glyphs is being invited in companies for employee engagement, where employees become celebrities through a wonderful live talk show of passion. An amazing and absolutely unique team building and bonding initiative. Glyphs is also forming groups of passionate people to meet up and come together to inspire each other. Did you know that you can also be a part of this Glyphs community? Well, there are three ways in which you can do it. The options are seen on your screen right now. Go ahead and choose one or even all. Can we have the options, please? Your passion got you here. What will be your next step? Option 1. I want to perform or refer someone to perform on a Glyphs episode. I want to introduce Glyphs to my company. I want to be a part of a passion group or pod with Glyphs. To all our viewers on Facebook, please comment option 1, 2, or 3 in the comment box and we will get back to you. And to everybody, I'll give you 10 seconds to answer the poll. Thank you for your wonderful response. You can now see the phone number and email ID on the screen right now. So join us, connect with us on the Glyphs CCE channel, the place where every passion finds a home. Before I sign off, let me take this opportunity to thank our wonderful host, Kavita Avasti. Kavita Avasti, a fashion designer who owns and runs her own boutique Poshak for the past 26 years. Thank you, Kavita, and over to you.
Thank you, Apurva. And thank you to our audience for participating in that poll and letting us know your preferences. And moving on to our next guest, an all-rounder having many facets of creativity. That's our next guest, Vishal Kulkarni. He has been persistently following his childhood passion of writing, composing poems in Marathi, Hindi, English, Marathi Tsarori, Marathi Ukhane, Hindi Shero Shairi, writing articles, travel blogs. Wow. These are all the various types of writings that his passion has taken Vishal to. He believes in Haste Raho or Hasate Raho. Vishal says it's very easy to make someone cry, but it is the most difficult thing to make someone laugh. So most of his creations help people laugh and forget their tensions. He works as a territory sales manager with a multinational private sector company at Pune. He prominently believes we meet no ordinary people in our lives. If you give them a chance, everyone has something amazing to offer. That's such a beautiful thought. And so he says, it becomes all the more important to create, connect, and express. Thank you, Vishal. And yes, today we are going to witness some wonderful creations that Vishal's passion has given rise to. So I think audience, all of you would agree that Vishal, like a lot of us, is an ardent fan of Sachin. And for a lot of us, Sachin Tendulkar is the god of cricket. Because every god is worshipped with an arti, Vishal also decided to write an arti for Sachin Tendulkar with the help of his passion of composing poems. So Vishal and his friends used to recite this arti before the start of every match of the World Cup. So for the cricket lovers, here comes this arti from Vishal. Vishal, over to you.
Namaskar. First of all, I would thank Kavita and the entire Glyphs team for giving me this opportunity to be here live on this channel. And I'm very, very happy to be the part of this thing which is going. And as you said, straight away, we'll go for the mic.
Vishal, yes, before you start, to the audience, on behalf of Team Glyphs, we also would like to wish Vishal a very happy birthday. It happens to be his birthday, and what a beautiful way of celebrating such a beautiful day. Yes, Vishal, over to you for that arti.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. So I'll straight away start with the arti of my cricketing god, Sachin Tendulkar. I wrote it a few years back. It goes like this. Arti Sachin Devachi. जय देव जय सचिन देवा तुझी बॅट म्हणजे शतकांचा ठेवा जय देव जय सचिन देवा तुझी बॅट म्हणजे शतकांचा ठेवा. जय देव जय देव. अक्रम अँब्रोज मॅग्रा चालूनी आले. मुरली कादिर बॉन परतवले गेले. दिग्गज संघांनी सुरुंग पेरले. मनसुबे त्यांचे मनातच विरले. जय देव जय देव. जय देव जय देव. जय सचिन देवा. तुझी बॅट म्हणजे शतकांचा ठेवा. जय देव जय देव. अनवर जय सूर्या वा सोलारा. उत्सम सर्वांचेच वाचे हो बारा. चौकार तुझा नसे विजेला थारा. षटकार तुझा जशा ढगातील गारा. जय देव जय देव. जय देव जय देव. जय सचिन देवा. तुझी बॅट म्हणजे शतकांचा ठेवा. जय देव जय देव. देशी परदेशी धावा करण्यास धजला. शतकांचा हार तया गळी सजला. जगात तुझाच टंका वाजला. मास्टर ब्लास्टर असा तूच गाजला. जय देव जय देव. जय देव जय देव. जय सचिन देवा. तुझी बॅट म्हणजे शतकांचा ठेवा. जय देव जय देव. मातासी वाटे पुत्र भावा तुझ जैसा. खेळाची मान जो उंचावे ऐसा. उत्सम तुझा व्हावा तो कैसा. अवतार वारंवार होतो का तैसा. जय देव जय देव. जय देव जय देव. जय सचिन देवा. तुझी बॅट म्हणजे शतकांचा ठेवा. जय देव जय देव. खेळपट्टीवर तू उभा राहतोस जेव्हा. फक्ताच या तोची आनंद ठेवा. भारताचा गर्व तू इतरांचा हेवा. मॅच बघून तुझी करीन सेवा. जय देव जय देव. जय देव जय देव. जय सचिन देवा. तुझी बॅट म्हणजे शतकांचा ठेवा. जय देव जय देव. जय देव जय देव. थँक्यू.
Mast रे विशाल. I think a lot of people are going to request you to send this poem to them. कारण तू जसं म्हटलं तसं I think सचिन हे खूप लोकांसाठी देव आहे. And I think all of us should probably start saying this Aarti before every match, Sachin or no Sachin. Either ways, we should say this. Awesome. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Vishal. And moving on to the next one, another thing based on cricket. So, audience, like we all know, India hosted the Cricket World Cup in 2011. So, त्यावेळेला foreign cricket players came to India along with their wives. Okay, now in the imaginary world, the organizers decided to take a few foreign ladies to a Marathi wedding to showcase the Maharashtrian wedding tradition. But there was a rule. Ladies would have to wear a Marathi Nawari sari and they would have to introduce themselves along with their husbands in a typical format. ज्याला आपण म्हणतो मराठी उखाणे. So it's all about fun and laughter. The things mentioned in these ukhane are the specialities of that particular place. So let's hear this amazing thing from Vishal. Again, back to you, Vishal.
Thank you, Kavita. As you said, एक मराठी लग्न, and I'm going to talk in Marathi now, कारण हे उखाणे आहे. तर जेव्हा हे सगळे परदेशी पाहुण्या आपल्या मराठी लग्नात पोहोचतात आणि त्यांना सांगण्यात येतं की तुम्ही स्वतःचं इंट्रोडक्शन करा आणि तुमच्या नवऱ्याचंही करून द्या, तेव्हा त्या कशा पद्धतीने उखाणे घेतात. पहिला मॅडम येतात पिवळ्या रंगाची नऊवारी साडी नेसून स्टेजवर जातात आणि पहिला उखाणा घेतात. सिडनीच्या रेल्वे यार्डात इंजिन करतं शंटिंग. सिडनीच्या रेल्वे यार्डात इंजिन करतं शंटिंग. रिकी रावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस पॉन्टिंग. मिसेस रिकी पॉन्टिंग इतकं छान उखाणा घेतात, सगळीकडे हॉलमध्ये टाळ्या पडतात आणि त्या वापस आपल्या जागेवर जाऊन बसायचा प्रयत्न करतात. तोच एक करड्या रंगाच्या नऊवारी नेसलेल्या थोडीशी लालसर पदर असलेल्या एक मॅडम स्टेजवर येतात आणि त्या नाव घेतात. त्या काय नाव घेतात? त्या थोड्या गोंधळलेल्या पण असतात की त्यांना कळत नसतं की एक्झॅक्टली काय बोलायचं. कॅरेबियन बेटांवर लागतो स्विमिंग सूटचा सेल. कॅरेबियन बेटांवर लागतो स्विमिंग सूटचा सेल. ख्रिस रावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस गेल. तर या मिसेस ख्रिस गेल असतात. त्या टिपिकल ख्रिस गेल स्टाईलनीच पुन्हा वापस जातात आणि मग एकदम राणीच्या तोऱ्यात खूप रुबाबाने निळ्या रंगाची नऊवारी साडी, त्याला लालसर असलेली ती किनार घेऊन स्टेजवर येतात एक परदेशी मॅडम आणि खूप तोऱ्यामध्ये उखाणा घेतात. त्या म्हणतात, लंडनच्या आकाश पाळण्याला बर्मिंगहॅमचे रॉड, लंडनच्या आकाश पाळण्याला बर्मिंगहॅमचे रॉड, स्टुअर्ट रावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस ब्रॉड. तर त्या असतात स्टुअर्ट ब्रॉड, मिसेस स्टुअर्ट ब्रॉड. आणि ते वापस जायला लागतात. मग प्रेक्षकांमधून, हॉलमधून सगळीकडे एकच गलका ऐकू येतो. सगळे म्हणत असतात, आता कोणीतरी भारताच्या ज्या प्लेयर आहेत त्यांच्या मिसेसनी नाव घ्यायला पाहिजे. सगळे ओरडायला लागतात, भारत भारत भारत, चिअरिंग सुरू होते. आणि तेवढ्यात एक हिरव्या रंगाच्या नऊवारी नेसलेल्या मॅडम थोडं इकडे तिकडे करत पुढे येतात आणि सरळ येऊन म्हणतात, भारत बिरत काही नाही, पहिले मीच नाव घेणार, भारत नंतर. आता तुम्हाला कळलं असेल की हे कोणत्या देशाचे मॅडम आहेत. त्या पुढे येतात आणि नाव घेतात. लाहोरच्या बैलांना शोभतात कराचीचे झूल, लाहोरच्या बैलांना शोभतात कराचीचे झूल, उमररावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस गुल. तर या पाकिस्तानच्या मिसेस उमर गुल असतात. सो त्या वापस जातात. थोडे लोक नाकं मुरडतात त्यांच्या नावाने, पण तरी टाळ्या वाजतात आणि ते वापस जातात. वापस गेल्यानंतर मग पुन्हा एकदा वेलका होतो की मला भारताच्याच लोकांना पाहायचंय. तर भारताच्या मॅडम पुढे येतात. त्या पुढे आल्यानंतर उखाणा घेतात. आता हे तुम्हीच ठरवा की ते उखाणा घेतात की पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट करतात. त्या पुढे येतात. त्यांनी पण छान निळसर रंगाची नऊवारी नेसलेली असते आणि त्या पुढे येऊन म्हणतात, 1760 घटक पक्ष तरी भारतात सरकार स्थिर, 1760 घटक पक्ष तरी भारतात सरकार स्थिर, गौतम रावांचे नाव घेते मी मिसेस गंभीर. आता म्हणजे थोडक्यात सांगायचं काय की गौतम गंभीरच्या मिसेस आहेत त्यांना तेव्हाच माहित होतं की हे पुढे जाऊन आफ्टर क्रिकेट पॉलिटिक्स जॉईन करणार आहेत म्हणून. वापस जातात आणि मग पुढचा नंबर लागतो जे आपल्या शेजारी असतात त्यांचा. त्या पण हिरव्या रंगाची नऊवारी नेसतात आणि पुढे येतात. थोडीशी लालसर किनार त्याच्यावरती असते. त्यांना खूप ऑकवर्ड फील होतं कारण ते महाराष्ट्रीयन लग्नामध्ये आलेले असतात आणि त्यांना जे नाव घ्यायचं असतं किंवा त्यांनी ते विचार केला असतो ते थोडंसं जरा गडबडीचं असतं, पण तरी ते नाव घेतात. त्या म्हणतात, ढाक्याची मी मला आवडते मच्छीवाली दाल, ढाक्याची मी मला आवडते मच्छीवाली दाल, तमीमरावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस इक्बाल. तर या असतात तमीम इक्बाल मिसेस. त्या वापस जातात. त्या वापस गेल्यानंतर मग पुन्हा एक हिरव्या रंगाच्या नऊवारी नेसलेल्या मॅडम थोड्याशा लाजत बुजत तिथे पुढे येतात. त्यांना असं वाटतं कुठून आले या ठिकाणी, मला नाव घ्यायची गरज पडते, पण ते शेवटी नाव घेतातच. त्यांचा उखाणा असा असतो, आफ्रिकेच्या जंगलात सिंह पहावा भीत भीत, आफ्रिकेच्या जंगलात सिंह पहावा भीत भीत, ग्रॅमी रावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस स्मिथ. तर या असतात मिसेस ग्रॅमी स्मिथ. वापस जातात. आता शेवटच्या दोघी उरलेल्या असतात आणि त्या दोघी ज्या असतात त्यातला दोघी एकमेकांकडे बघत असतात की पहिले कोण जाईल. शेवटी आग्रह करण्यात येतो आणि थोड्याशा ग्रे कलरचा नऊवारी असलेल्या मॅडम पुढे येतात आणि नाव घेतात. त्या म्हणतात, ऑकलंडचं ग्राउंड आहे इतकं छोटं, ऑकलंडचं ग्राउंड आहे इतकं छोटं जसं पिक्चरचं ट्रेलर, ऑकलंडचं ग्राउंड आहे इतकं छोटं जसं पिक्चरचं ट्रेलर, रॉस रावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस टेलर. तर या असतात रॉस टेलर यांच्या मिसेस. वापस जातात आणि मग पुढे मोठ्या तोऱ्यात पुढच्या मॅडम स्टेजवर येतात आणि त्यांनी निळसर रंगाची नऊवारी नेसली असते, त्याला छान पिवळ्या रंगाचा पदर असतो आणि ठसक्यात येऊन सांगतात, तसं पाहिलं ना तर भारताचं आणि आमचं नातं खूप जुनं म्हणजे अगदी रामायणापासूनचं. लोकांना कळत नाही हे काय, यांना काय म्हणायचं नक्की. मला कळतं तुम्हाला कन्फ्युजन झालंय असं त्या म्हणतात आणि पुढचा उखाणा घेतात. त्या म्हणतात, तुमच्या हनुमानानं आमच्या रावणाला दाखवला चांगलाच इंगा, तुमच्या हनुमानानं आमच्या रावणाला दाखवला चांगलाच इंगा, लसित रावांचं नाव घेते मी मिसेस मलिंगा. आणि हे जेव्हा ऐकतात अक्षरशः लोक खाली पडतात खुर्च्यांवरून हॉलमध्ये असले. तर अशा तरी खूप टाळ्या त्यांना मिळतात. ऑर्गनायझर्सही खुश होतात आणि ह्या सगळ्या परदेशी आपल्या पाहुण्या ज्या आलेल्या असतात या आपल्या महाराष्ट्रीयन संस्कृतीचा घटक बनतात आणि खूप छान आठवणी घेऊन परदेशी वापस जातात. धन्यवाद.
थँक्यू विशाल. जशा त्या छान आठवणी घेऊन परदेशात गेल्या तशी आम्ही नक्कीच आज छान आठवणी घेऊन जाणार आहोत तिकडनं. That was so amazing, so innovative, absolutely
Thank you. Thanks a
beautifully
lot.
put. Vishal, thank you so much for that thing. All right, and to the audience, of course, moving back to the quiz, the Glyphs quiz related to the poetry that we have been hearing from Vishal. Okay, the first question, I think this is a relatively easy one. V.Va. Shirvadkar is the name of which poet? V.Va. Shirvadkar is the actual name for which poet? What is his pen name? Yes, Sudhir and Amrita. Yes, that is right, Pushkar. It is, of course, Kusumagraj. Like I said, it's an easy one. Vishnu Vaman Shirvadkar, an eminent Marathi poet, a novelist, short story writer, and a playwright. All right, the next one also relatively easy. Krishnaji Keshav Damle is known as Balkavi. Right or wrong? Krishnaji Keshav Damle is known as Balkavi. Right or wrong? Okay, Pushkar, if it's for yes, that is right. Amol, it is Keshav Sut. Yes, that is right. Keshav Suta, it is called. That is the right name for him. Okay, moving on to the third question. Maji Bahin Chandrabhaga Karitesa Papabhanga. Who has written this famous Barud? Who is the writer of this famous Barud? Maji Bahin Chandrabhaga. Yes, Sudhir, you are right again. It is Sant Eknath, the poet who was known to be a very strong devotee of Lord Krishna. Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you to the audience for all your answers. Moving on, back to Vishal. Marathi Tsaroya. Tsaroya manje, to put it simply, a poem in 4 lines. Tsar Oya. So in the world of the poet, well, in this case, our poet Vishal, of course. So he falls in love 3 times before marriage. Wow, that's some stamina, Vishal. Thrice before marriage, he falls in love, but fails to convert his love. Each incident is explained with one tsaroi. After that, the poet gets married to a hefty girl who always keeps quarreling, finding faults, not able to cook. So all in all, not a good wife. So how life goes on after marriage is explained in a comic sense through tsarois. Vishal, over to you for this one again.
Thank you, Kavita. Thank you. So as Kavita explained, this is a tragic story of mine, imaginary world. So it goes like that. Maji, again me going into Marathi only. माझं पहिलं प्रेम जे फेल होतं ते का होतं माहितीये? खूप खूप जवळ गेल्यामुळे. कसं सांगतो. तुम्ही वरून मी तिला तूवर आणलं. तुम्ही वरून मी तिला तूवर आणलं. संबंध अधिकच जवळचे झाले. संबंध अधिकच जवळचे झाले. तिने मला भाऊच मानलं. आता भाऊ मानलं तर पुढचं काही होणं शक्यच नव्हतं. त्यामुळे पहिलं प्रेम तसंच बाजूला पडलं. तिथे खूप जास्त एक्सप्रेशन दिले म्हणून मी पहिले बाहेर गेलो. आता मी सेकंड ट्राय केला. तिथे मी पुढे व्यक्तच झालो नाही. आणि का व्यक्त झालो नाही ते तुम्हाला आता मी सांगतो. माझ्या तिच्यावरच्या प्रेमाची फाईल नेहमीच हिडन होती. माझ्या तिच्यावरच्या प्रेमाची फाईल नेहमीच हिडन होती. कारण तिचं लग्न झाल्यामुळे ती फक्त रीड ओनली होती. आता पुन्हा तोच प्रश्न. दुसरं प्रेम पण फेल्युअर झालंय. आता काय करायचं? तिसऱ्या प्रेमाकडनं मात्र खूप मला अपेक्षा होत्या आणि खरंच त्या अपेक्षा बऱ्यापैकी पूर्ण पण झाल्या होत्या. मला वाटलं होतं मला हे माझं प्रेम मिळेल. पण तिथे पण फ्लॉप शोच झाला. कसा? तो ऐका. केवळ माझी होण्यासाठी तिने हजारोंना क्विट केलं. प्राईड मोमेंट, इजंट इट? केवळ माझी होण्यासाठी तिने हजारोंना क्विट केलं. माझे सगळे पैसे संपल्यावर तिनं मलाच कंट्रोल अल्ट डिलीट केलं. तिच्या लाईफ मधनं तिने मला काढून टाकलं आणि माझं तिसरं प्रेम पण फेल्युअर झालं. मग उरतं काय आयुष्यामध्ये, जे आई वडिलांनी मुलगी आणून दिली समोर, तिच्याशी लग्न केलं. ती सांगितल्याप्रमाणे थोडीशी जाड होती, लग्नानंतर अजून जाड झाली आणि कजात तर होतीच. तरीही आम्ही महाबळेश्वरला गेलो आणि महाबळेश्वरला गेल्यानंतर काय झालं ते ऐका. महाबळेश्वरला गेल्यावर हिनं घोडेस्वारीचा हट्ट केला. महाबळेश्वरला गेल्यावर हिनं घोडेस्वारीचा हट्ट केला. हिच्या हट्टापायी नाहकच बिचारा घोड्याचा जीव गेला. आता तो जीव गेल्यानंतर तो मालक माझ्याशी भांडला, त्यांनी माझ्याकडनं पैसे वसूल केले, त्यामुळे माझा पारा चढला. माझं आणि तिचं भांडण झालं तिथल्या तिथेच आणि तिच्या स्वभावाप्रमाणे तिने सगळ्या गोष्टी हाणून पाडल्या. प्रत्येक ठिकाणी नाकं मुरडली, घोडाच चुकीचा होता, जमीनच बरोबर नव्हती, तो वीकच होता, असं करत ऐकलं नाही. इतके नाकं मुरडले की नाकच वाकडं झालं. आता पुन्हा त्याच्यात माझं तिचं भांडण झालं. का माहितीये, तिला मी ओरडलोच, जास्त नाक मुरडू नकोस, जास्त नाक मुरडू नकोस, किती वेळा सांगितलं होतं तुला, जास्त नाक मुरडू नकोस, किती वेळा सांगितलं होतं तुला, शेवटी करावं लागले ना ऑपरेशन, नसता भुर्दंड पडला मला. त्यामुळे पुन्हा तिथे पैसे खर्च करणं मला भाग आलं आणि मग आम्ही पुन्हा वापस आलो. वापस आल्यानंतर स्वयंपाकात हिने पुन्हा दिवे लावले. आल्यानंतर मला कळलं की हिला काही स्वयंपाक करता येत नाही. का माहितीये, ही करायला जाते शिरा, ही करायला जाते शिरा, होते मात्र त्याची लापशी. ही करायला जाते शिरा, होते मात्र त्याची लापशी. ज्या दिवशी करते ही स्वयंपाक, त्या दिवशी असते माझी एकादशी. उपासच मान होते हो, आणखी काय करणार. तरी म्हटलं ठीक आहे, लग्न झालंच तर धकू पुढे. करता 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 पुढे सणवार येतात. नवरात्र येतं. नवरात्र आल्यानंतर आमच्या मॅडमला फारच उत्साह येतो. मला म्हणतात की नाही, आता मला दांडिया खेळायचा आहे, मला नवीन घागरा चोळी पाहिजे. म्हणतो ठीक आहे, चला रेडीमेडच्या दुकानात जाऊयात. पण तिच्या साईजचा घागरा काही मिळत नाही. मग आम्ही लेडीज टेलरकडे जातो. लेडीज टेलर गेल्यानंतर मला खूप आनंद होतो आणि मी कविता आहेच तिथेच एक्सप्रेशन देऊन बसतो. हिच्या घागरा चोळीच्या हट्टापायी, हिच्या घागरा चोळीच्या हट्टापायी मला बसला असता 20-30 हजारांचा बांबू. हिच्या घागरा चोळीच्या हट्टापायी मला बसला असता 20-30 हजारांचा बांबू. पण देव भलं करो त्या लेडीज टेलरचं, पण देव भलं करो त्या लेडीज टेलरचं, ज्यानं सांगितलं मी शिवत नाही सरकशीचा तंबू. ज्यांनी सांगितलं मी शिवत नाही सरकशीचा तंबू, खूप बरं वाटलं. पण आमचं पुन्हा भांडण झालं आणि मग या भांडणातून संसारामध्ये मी एकमेकांपासून दूर जायला लागलो. मला दारूचं व्यसन लागलं. दारूचं व्यसन लागल्यानंतर मी रोज दारू प्यायला लागलो. पण एवढे सगळे निगेटिव्ह पॉईंट्स मी तुम्हाला आता माझ्या बायकोचे सांगितले. त्यात एक पॉझिटिव्ह पॉईंट असा होता की तिच्यामुळेच माझं दारूचं व्यसन सुटलं. कसं ते ऐका. मित्रांच्या आग्रहास्तव त्या रात्री खूप घेतली. मित्रांच्या आग्रहास्तव त्या रात्री मी खूप घेतली. घरी गेल्यावर मात्र माझी दातखिळीच बसली. मित्रांच्या आग्रहास्तव त्या रात्री मी खूप घेतली. घरी गेल्यावर मात्र माझी दातखिळीच बसली. ही एकच झेपत नाही, ही एकच झेपत नाही, चारदा दिसली. ही एकच झेपत नाही, चारदा दिसली. शपथेवर सांगतो, पुन्हा थेंबर देखील नाही घेतली. धन्यवाद.
मस्त विशाल. आणि तू हे इमॅजिनरी आहे हे सांगितलंय, फार बरं केलंस. आज तुझे घरी जायचे वांदे झाले असते बर्थडेच्या दिवशी. ऑलराईट, थँक्यू फॉर दॅट.
म्हणूनच मी पहिले सांगितलं इमॅजिनरी आहे.
म्हणूनच वाचलास तू आज. So now to the audience, it's time for some Hindi shayari. So well, Atar Shair falls in love with a beautiful girl. So naturally, as all ashiks do, he writes 3 to 4 shairis. He assumes that as he is in love, the girl is also in love with him. One day, well, he expresses his love before her, but sadly, she denies his proposal. So the Shair starts losing himself and ultimately falls ill and writes his last shairi. So विशाल के इस अंदाज को भी हम सुन लेते हैं. विशाल, over to you.
शुक्रिया. तो जैसे मैडम ने कहा, मैं फिर से एक बार कोट करना चाहूंगा कि दिस इज अगेन इमेजिनरी वर्ल्ड. तो अभी मैं अपना हिंदी लैंग्वेज यूज करूंगा. मैं शायर ख्यालों की दुनिया का. जब मैं एक हसीना का दीदार करता हूं पहली बार, तो मेरे दिल से एक कलाम याद आता है जो आपको सुनाना चाहता हूं। अर्ज किया है, सुनहरी जुल्फे है, सुनहरी जुल्फे है, गुलाबी गाल है, सुनहरी जुल्फे है, गुलाबी गाल है, नशीली आंखें हैं, बलखाती चाल है, लाखों है दीवाने उसके, सबका बुरा हाल है, लाखों है दीवाने उसके, सबका बुरा हाल है, वो आखिर होगी किसकी, हर दिल में यही सवाल है, यही सवाल है। तो ये मेरा पहला दीदार तो हो गया। उसके बाद मैं हर रोज कोई ना कोई बहाना बना के कहीं ना कहीं से उसका दीदार कर ही लेता था, और फिर उसकी एक एक अदाओं का मुझे पता चलता गया, एक एक अदाओं पे मैं फिदा होता गया। उसने हंसने की एक अदा पे मैंने फिर एक कलाम लिख दिया, आपके सामने पेश है। वो जब भी हंसी है, वो जब भी हंसी है, गुल गुल गुलशन खिला है, वो जब भी हंसी है, गुल गुल गुलशन खिला है, और लोगों को लगा है कि मौसम बदला है, और लोगों को लगा है कि मौसम बदला है। अभी ये तो हो गई मेरी तरफ से। मुझे लगने लगता है कि मैं उसके साथ मोहब्बत करने लगा हूँ, इश्क करने लगा हूँ, और उसी के ख्यालों में हमेशा डूबा रहने लगता हूँ। उसी ख्यालों में प्यार के कागज पे दिल की कलम से मैं और एक शेर उसकी तारीफ में लिख देता हूँ। वो शमा है, वो शमा है, न जाने कितने परवाने जल गए, वो शमा है, न जाने कितने परवाने जल गए, हम तो मोम थे, हम तो मोम थे, बस उनके ख्यालों से ही पिघल गए। बस फिर क्या था, हम अपनी पूरी तरह से अपने को झोंक दिया था हम लोगों ने उसकी मोहब्बत में। बट आगे क्या होता है, आगे ये होता है कि एक दिन मैं उनका दीदार कर लेता हूँ गुलाबों के बागीचे में, और जो वो करती है उसे देख के थोड़ी सी दिल में जलन सी हो जाती है। तो वो जलन क्या है आपके सामने पेश करता हूँ। अर्ज किया है, छू लिया, छू लिया उन्होंने अपने होठों से, छू लिया उन्होंने अपने होठों से उस गुलाब की कली को, फूल में बदल दिया उन्होंने उस गुलाब की कली को, छू लिया उन्होंने अपने होठों से उस गुलाब की कली को, फूल में बदल दिया उन्होंने उस गुलाब की कली को। थी जमी पर, थी जमी पर अचानक जन्नत हासिल हुई उस गुलाब की कली को, थी जमी पर अचानक जन्नत हासिल हुई उस गुलाब की कली को, जो आरजू थी हमारी एक अरसे से, जो आरजू थी हमारी एक अरसे से, वो नसीब हुई उस गुलाब की कली को। तो बस क्या था, हम आहें भरते रहे और यूं ही मोहब्बत में चलते रहे। फिर हमें एक दिन लगा कि नहीं, उनको ये दिल की बात तो बतानी पड़ेगी, तब जाके उन्हें मालूम होगा कि हम भी उनके साथ मोहब्बत करते हैं। तो हम गए और अपनी दिल की बात उनके सामने रख दी। अर्ज किया है, अगर हम आपके दीवाने हुए, अगर हम आपके दीवाने हुए तो क्या खता हुई, लाखों तो पहले से ही है, हम हुए तो क्या खता हुई। अगर हम आपके दीवाने हुए तो क्या खता हुई, लाखों तो पहले से ही है, हम हुए तो क्या खता हुई। हमने तो बस इजहार किया, हमने तो बस इजहार किया, तो क्या खता हुई। अगर इजहार करना खता है तो हाँ हमसे खता हुई, हाँ हमसे खता हुई। ये सुनने के बाद वो थोड़े हमसे नाराज हो जाती है, नाराज तो हो जाती है, फिर हमसे दूर रहने लगती है। फिर जो बातें हमारी हुआ करती थी, थोड़ी मुलाकातें हुआ करती थी, वो भी नहीं होती। धीरे 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 करते करते इस शायर की तबीयत नासाज होने लगती है, और ये शायर बीमार होता है। बीमारी के दौर में भी इंसानियत की खातिर वो हमें देखने आती है, जो मुमकिन है हर मदद करती है, पर समझ नहीं पाती है कि बीमारी किस वजह से है। अर्ज किया है, मरीज का हाल पूछने वो चले आते हैं, मरीज का हाल पूछने वो चले आते हैं, बीमारी दिल की है समझ नहीं पाते हैं। मरीज का हाल पूछने वो चले आते हैं, बीमारी दिल की है समझ नहीं पाते हैं। हर हकीम और दवा, हर हकीम और दवा आजमा चुके हैं वो हम पर, हर हकीम और दवा आजमा चुके हैं वो हम पर खुद ही दवाए मर्ज है समझ नहीं पाते हैं, खुद ही दवाए मर्ज है समझ नहीं पाते हैं। अभी ये सब चलता है, बीमारी और बढ़ती रहती है, उसे कुछ पता नहीं चलता कि क्या हो रहा है। मोहतरमा वहीं पे होती है, हमें पता तो चल जाता है कि वो किसी को हो चुकी है, और ये दीवाना उसके पीछे ही कायल है। बर्बादी समझो, हमने उसके पीछे जिंदगी खराब कर दी। हमें यह भी मालूम होता है कि हम अकेले नहीं है, यहाँ हजारों और भी है जो इसके कायल है। तो उनके लिए, हमारे लिए और उनकी तारीफ में ये शायर दो आखिरी कलाम पढ़ता है और उसके बाद दुनिया से रुखसत होता है। अर्ज किया है, बर्बादी का आलम तो देखो, बर्बादी का आलम तो देखो, दीवाने बर्बाद होने आए हैं। बर्बादी का आलम तो देखो, दीवाने बर्बाद होने आए हैं। शमा बुझ चुकी है, शमा बुझ चुकी है, फिर भी परवाने जलने आए हैं, फिर भी परवाने जलने आए हैं। शुक्रिया।
क्या बात है विशाल, क्या बात है। इससे एक शेर याद आ गई, चेहरे पे रौनक, वो आने से आ गई चेहरे रौनक, और हम समझ बैठे दिमाग का हाल अच्छा हो गया है। Amazing, beautiful. Vishal, thank you so much. And yes, to the audience, as promised, time for the finale. Like I said in the beginning, a culture and tradition can be interpreted by each person in a different way. So now we are going to see the story of a tradition which will be presented in their unique styles by both our guests, Pradnya and Vishal. Kahani आपण ज्याला म्हणतो, presented by Pradnya and Vishal. So let's see these two completely different ways of presentation of passions and yet beautifully amalgamated together, presenting our signature style, the glyphs Jugalbandi. Vishal and Pradnya, over to both of you.
Thank you, Kavita. I'll be presenting a kahani, and we'll try to cover both the literature forms in this. I'll read out the kahani, and then Vishal will start his poem on this kahani. The second part of kahani will be covered by the poem. एक आटपाट शहर होतं. आट म्हणजे रुंद आणि पाट म्हणजे लांब. नगरात उमा नावाची एक बाई राहत होती. नवरा, मुलं, सासू सासरे आणि जवळच राहणारं दिराचं कुटुंब, सणावाराला येणारं. भरल्या नांदत्या घरातली उमा चांगली उत्तम पदावर काम करत होती. घरचं सगळं सांभाळून नोकरी करताना उमेची तारेवरची कसरत होत असे. धावून धावून दमलं तरी तिच्या मनाला समाधान काही मिळत नव्हतं. मग उमेनी तिच्या सखीला रमेला शिवामुठीचं व्रत विचारलं. तिनं सांगितलं आणि सगळ्यांची आवडती होण्याचा मार्ग तिला तिच्या सखीनं दाखवला. उमा शंकरांना म्हणाली, शिवा शिवा महादेवा, माझी मूठ ईश्वरा देवा, सासू सासऱ्या दिरा भावा, नंदा जावा भ्रतारा, नावडती आहे ती आवडती कर रे देवा. शंकर प्रसन्न झाले आणि उमेला म्हणाले, उमे, अगं मीच का नावडती असा विचार करू नकोस. तुझ्या विचारांची कवाडं मिटून घेऊ नकोस. तुझं दुःख कवटाळून बसू नकोस. शिवामुठीचं व्रत करणारेस ना तू, मग डोळसपणे ते व्रत कर. विशाल, कसं करायचं हे व्रत?
शंकर भगवान सांगतात, तिच्या सगळ्या कुटुंबाच्या व्यथा जाणून घेतात आणि सांगतात, तृप्त कर तू कुटुंबाला, तृप्त कर तू कुटुंबाला, होऊन अन्नपूर्णा तू बस उठ. तृप्त कर तू कुटुंबाला, होऊन अन्नपूर्णा तू बस उठ. समज वाहिली महादेवाला, समज वाहिली महादेवाला, तांदळाची पहिली शिवामुठ. माया दे तू कुटुंबाला, माया दे तू कुटुंबाला, होऊन पार्वती तू बस उठ. समज वाहिली महादेवाला, तिळाची दुसरी शिवामुठ. नको देव कलह कुटुंबाला, नको देव कलह कुटुंबाला, होऊन तारा तू बस उठ. समज वाहिली महादेवाला, मुगाची तिसरी शिवामुठ. प्रसन्नता दे तू कुटुंबाला, प्रसन्नता दे तू कुटुंबाला, होऊन संतोषी तू बस उठ. समज वाहिली महादेवाला, जवाची चौथी शिवामुठ. सौख्य दे तू कुटुंबाला, सौख्य दे तू कुटुंबाला, होऊन धन्वंतरी तू बस उठ. समज वाहिली महादेवाला सत्तूची 5वी शिवामुठ. कर शिवामुठीचे व्रत आजीवन, कर शिवामुठीचे व्रत आजीवन, संदर्भ तयाला नवे देऊन, न राही इच्छा जी असेल अपूर्ण, न राही इच्छा जी असे अपूर्ण, ही नवी कहाणी सुफळ संपूर्ण, ही नवी कहाणी सुफळ संपूर्ण.
उमेदी डोळसपणे व्रत केलं, तिच्या केल्या कष्टाचं समाधान झालं आणि नावडती उमा आवडती झाली. उमेला दिसलेला मार्ग तुम्हा आम्हालाही दिसो, अशी ही 60 उत्तराची कहाणी 5 उत्तरी सुफळ संपूर्ण हो. धन्यवाद.
Such a beautiful way, such a beautiful end to such a beautiful evening. Thank you, Pradnya, thank you, Vishal. On behalf of our audience and on behalf of Team Glips, a heartfelt thanks to both of you for joining us on our channel.
Thank you, Team Glips. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद, मनापासून धन्यवाद टीम ग्लिप्सला. आणि इट्स व्हेरी वंडरफुल एक्सपिरियन्स अँड व्हेरी गुड प्लॅटफॉर्म. थँक यू व्हेरी मच.
Thank you so much. We also thank Priya Gokhale for introducing today's guest, Pradnya, to Glips, and Vishal, who joined us through our feature in the Sakar newspaper. So the Glips CCE show, like I said, has celebrated a milestone of completing 60 episodes. And we are overwhelmed with the response from all the well-wishers from India and from more than 44 countries across the globe. This platform has brought together people from different places and cultures, all bound together by passion, as you have just witnessed. We are now building a larger team with a better infrastructure to keep showcasing, pursuing, and inspiring more passions all across the world. So friends, if you have liked the episodes, the experience, and the concept, we are now open to have your financial support to help us to build a stronger platform than ever before. Your financial support, however big or small, is extremely valuable to us. You can see on the screen a GPay number as well as a QR code for any contribution that you would like to make to take this concept forward. Thank you so much. We also thank our ever-efficient back-end team for their efforts in preparing every episode flawlessly. And of course, the founders, Salil, Tanushri, and Gayatri, for innovating this idea and creating this awesome channel. Last but not the least, our wonderful audience from India and from across the globe for watching, supporting, and encouraging us during each episode of our channel Glips CCE. Audience, in case anyone from you is interested in interacting with our guests, would want to hear more of the lovely Shero Shairi that Vishal has and talking to Pradnya, please put in your name in the chat box and we can get you backstage to talk to them right now. I'm your host, Kavita Avasti, signing off for today. My team and I shall be waiting to see you on our next episode, where we introduce you to 2 new passions, that of Carnatic singing and badminton. So tune in on Thursday at 7 o'clock and be there to experience a new world of passion. Until then, stay safe, keep exploring your passions, and do take very good care of yourselves. Good night and have a lovely week ahead.